everyone. Let's start with a prayer. I open this service with a prayer, and I open this prayer with what I know to be the most potent words I can speak. Thank you. Thank you for this community of loving and kind souls. We're grateful to be here today to embrace the teachings of Ernest Holmes and so many other mystics that came before us and that are among us, as we each are. These teachings that will help us forge a nonviolent life of love, respect, and compassion. We're happy to be taught about being mindful of the present moment and to celebrate the connection between our bodies working harmoniously with our minds and our spirits. Continuing this prayer, recognize that there is only one God, known by many names, but still only one. One Father, Mother, Parent, Creator of the one life. That life is perfect, complete, and divine, and it is my life now, and the life of all people, all animals, all nature, everyone here, out there, everywhere. We all come together, united as one family. So from a place of sensing everyday wonder through the miraculous, the magnificent, and even the ordinary, I declare our hearts and minds open as we show up here this morning to learn the spiritual principles that form the foundation of our faith and to trust what we know is true of spirit within us today, tomorrow, and eternally. And so it is. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. I am Pat Ferguson, your practitioner, spiritual director for 2022. I missed you last week, but I was really happy to have some time off to do some personal things and just contemplate a little bit, but I'm really glad to be back with you today. We have a special guest speaker today, Scott Q. Marcus, and I will tell you more about him a little later, but welcome, Scott. Last week, Vicki opened a new month and launched a new CSL theme around our fabulous bodies and all they do for us, and often they do it with little respect. By the end of this month, I hope we all have a whole new perspective and a newfound admiration for the awesomely unique packages that hold us all together. As is my custom, I open my morning prayers before service to welcome the day and the week, and I light our God candle so that it is shining warmly and brightly to welcome you each in. I hope it's the first thing you see when you sign into the Zoom room. And welcome you we do, no matter what denomination you came from or were raised in, or even if this is your first faith experience. You are welcome here because all are welcome here. Join me if you would in saying our mission and vision statement. To teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science of mind and celebrating all paths to God. In our vision statement, a world that honors and respects all people. Now, for our opening song, I Love Myself the Way I Am by Jay Joseph.
Myself the way I am, there's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you just the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel the love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. Myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. Myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am.
My body is the house of the divine on earth. Spiritual reading and meditation this morning is brought to you by our practitioner of the week, Tammy Seppenfield. Tammy?
Okay. Good morning, everybody. And I'm going to start off right away by using Bev's thought from last Sunday. Your body is beautiful. Our bodies are beautiful. As your practitioner of the week, I started off taking care of you all this morning when I woke up, and I'll be thinking and praying for you all week. Remember, there is no problem we can't survive together. So I'm reading from the Science of Mind magazine this month. I am reading the prayer, which is entitled A Whole Body Treatment. I hope you enjoy it as much as I have. In this moment, I bless my body. I bless my feet that take me on new adventures. I'm grateful for all the bones and muscles that make up my feet They lead me to distant horizons that delight and surprise me. I bless my ability to move. I bless my legs that powerfully move me on my divine path. The muscles in my legs are strong, capable, and reliable. They hold me up in times of need, and I am grateful for their sturdiness. I bless my ability to stand firm. I bless my back that carries much of the weight of my body. I relax the back muscles that sometimes needlessly take on my worries. I am grateful for the flexibility and strength of my back's mighty muscles. I bless my ability to carry on. I bless my heart that pumps its own divine rhythm. My heart is tuned into the infinite, and I am grateful that every artery and vein joyfully receive the life-giving blood my heart pumps. I bless my ability to give and to receive. I bless my arms that do the work that is mine to do, whether typing on a computer, holding a child, driving a car, or stirring a pot in the kitchen. I am grateful. My arms continually do what is asked of them. I bless my ability to work. I bless my eyes that see my world with wonder and awe. In addition to my physical eyes that see the beauty of this world, I'm grateful for my third eye that sees the perfection of each circumstance and individual in my world. I bless my ability to see. I bless my brain that is connected to the divine wisdom of the universe. I'm grateful for my brain's neuroplasticity, which, which allows it to change with every new situation and environment. I bless my ability to choose. I bless my body. It is the vehicle for my soul, and I'm grateful for how it carries me on my sacred journey from glory to glory. I bless my ability to grow. So it is, and have a blessed day, my friends.
Thank you, Tammy. Now, our special music is Heal the World by the compilation of Child Prodigies. Wow. Kids are always so powerful. Okay, today we welcome Scott Q. Marcus, and I'm going to let Scott tell you what the quotes around the Q mean. I first came to know Scott when I took a CSL workshop back in February, March, I believe it was. And I immediately thought this would be a great guy to have speak at LCSL. So when he said yes, I asked him for a bio, as I do all of our speakers. And normally I would take what they send me and pluck out a few things and off we'd go. Well, Scott's bio made me laugh out loud. So I thought I would just kind of read it to you. Okay. Scott Q. Marcus of Eureka, California has lost 2,327 pounds. If you add up all the weight he has lost and regained since he entered the planet at 9 pounds, 14 ounces. In 1993, on his 39th birthday, after suffering from chest pains, backaches, financial ruin, and a failing marriage, he decided one more time to take control of his life, and he lost 70 pounds over the next year, which he has maintained to this date. From that beginning and a background in media, Scott became an award-winning speaker and professional motivator and coach, and now works with people in organizations facing increased workloads on how to improve their communications, lower conflict, and reduce stress so that they will be happier, healthier, and more productive. As the CRP, Chief Recovering Perfectionist of the ThisTimeIMeanIt.com, he helps others break down large barriers into small groups and get past what holds them back. He has conducted workshops, keynotes, and coaching across the country, including sessions for Centers for Spiritual Living. In addition to speaking, Scott has a weekly syndicated column, Striving for Imperfection, which has been running since 2004. He is the past president of the Northern California chapter of the National Speakers Association, as well as the author of 9 books. He invites you to join his inspirational Facebook group, Intentions, Affirmations, Manifestations. And he recently passed his written test to become a practitioner, and will become licensed as soon as his oral panels are complete in the very near future. Also, I hear that Scott has been known to trade counseling and workshops for good quality chocolate. But I have also heard that he will deny that. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you. Yes, and we did meet at that location. As a matter of fact, I'm getting my screen set to share. There we go. We did meet about a year ago, earlier this year, at something for the Centers for Spiritual Living, what I affectionately refer to as the mothership, the international headquarters. I'm doing another one right now, just as an aside. Just started this week. If anybody's interested, it's called Healthy Mind, Healthy Body. And at the risk of shameless self-promotion, let me put that in the chat box if anybody wants to find out more. So thank you for having me here, Pat, and thank you everybody for being here. And what a pleasant surprise. For those of you who didn't come in a while ago, I know Johnny from a while ago. We've never met in person, and this is just, I think, the way the universe works. The two of us came together in this room, and I'm looking and going, I know somebody named Johnny D, but he's in Cincinnati. And sure enough, it's him. So nice to have an old friend here. So let me start out with the topic, obviously, is be where your feet are, appreciating your body by accepting yourself more fully as you are. I think we have a tendency to find the negative within ourselves real quickly, and we're really slow to congratulate ourselves for what we are and what we have. And the word that I have, my wife and I, who interestingly enough, it was 28 years ago today on a Sunday, that my wife and I met at the Eureka Church of Religious Science. So today is our 28-year meeting anniversary. We've been married for 20 years. But I think we have a tendency to find all the negative things about ourselves. And my wife and I have, every year we have a tradition where we come up with the word of the year. And for me, my word, although it started out this year as hope, has become more and more the word is acceptance. That is my word. It is a word that so often I have to go, okay, just accept. So I did a little bit of, call it research, if you will, and I found a nice quick writing about acceptance, and I would like to read it to you here. If you can sit quietly after difficult news, if after financial downturns you can remain perfectly calm, if you can see your neighbors travel to fantastic places without a twinge of jealousy, if you can happily eat whatever is put on your plate and fall asleep after a day of running around without needing a pill or a drink, if you can always find contentment just where you are, you're probably a dog. There's a lot to learn from being a dog. We are designed to be pessimists. This is the way we are built. We are working at odds with ourselves when we try and be accepting and when we try and be positive. And it is true, you might think that, well, are we really designed to be pessimists? And the answer is yes. It was a survival mechanism. Where I live in Northwest California in the Redwoods, we have an ocean on one side. We are a very isolated area. We're not like what most of California looks like. You need a windy mountain road to get here. And it's a very mountainous area with rivers and redwood trees. It's a beautiful place to live, but as the proverbial expression goes, you can't get there from here. So it's very hard to get here. And I picture that thousands of years ago, when the first people discovered this area, and they came into this place and they saw the rivers and the fish and they saw the oceans and they saw the trees and they saw the beauty of the mountains, and that it never gets hot and it rarely snows here and it hardly gets cold. And the tribes that came in here took a look around, and the optimists said, wow, what a great place to live. I want to be surrounded by these trees. We'll go down here by the river and we can fish, we can get all the food, and then there's the animals and we can hunt and we can use them to help improve our lives, and the trees we can make shelter, and the ocean we can go out and we can find what we need. And the pessimists took a look around the same area and they said, no, 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 this is not right. If you live down there, the river's going to flood and the ocean's going to have a tsunami and it's going to drown you and the trees will catch fire and they'll burn and they'll fall on you, and then there will be earthquakes. We can't live in a place like this. We have to go live way up at the top of the mountains where it'll be more difficult to live, but it'll be safer because nothing is up there. So the optimist said, you're crazy, you go live at the top of the mountain if you want. And the pessimist said, you're crazy, you go live at the bottom of the mountain. And so the pessimist went up to the top of the mountain and the optimist stayed down among the rivers and the trees and the beauty. And what happened is there was a giant flood and it killed all the optimists, and the pessimists were left, and they were the ones who evolved and left us. So we are by nature designed to be negative. But that is not the reality of what we need anymore. Instead, what it is we have to adjust that attitude so that we are more positive. And what I would like to do is talk a little bit about how attitude influences what it is that we say about ourselves, and therefore how we accept ourselves. So I know that we started with a meditation and we had a treatment, and I'm going to do another one later. But I would like to share with you an honest attitude prayer so far today. And keep in mind, for me, it's barely 8 a.m. So far today, God, I have done all right. I haven't gossiped. I haven't lost my temper. I haven't been greedy, grumpy, nasty, selfish, overindulgent, or told anyone to mind their own business and stay out of mine. I'm really glad about that. But in a few minutes, God, I'm going to get out of bed. And from then on, I'm probably going to need a lot more help. So if that at all sounds like who you are periodically, and we all are that way once in a while, sometimes more often than we care to be, let's take a look at what it is that causes that. And if I have an expression, a main expression in life, and something that I teach in all of my sessions, it's what you say to yourself determines what you do to yourself. If I say to myself that I am a horrible, ugly person, I will act in that fashion. If I say to myself that I am fortunate and I am grateful and I love I love myself the way I am, then I will act in that fashion. Incidentally, a slight aside about that song, long before I discovered religious science, back when I was still very overweight, and in my first marriage, which did not work out, well, hence the term first marriage, but somebody gave to me a Louise Hay tape with that exact song on it. And I weighed 250 pounds. I didn't like myself at all. And I heard that song, I love myself the way I am. And the concept of being able to love myself while still being as imperfect as I was something I just couldn't get. I remember it was a cassette tape. So this must have been, like in the late 80s that I got this tape. I would drive to, to my assignments. I would listen to that tape. I literally would cry in the car as I wore out the tape, because the concept of, am I allowed to love myself? Am I allowed to love this body with all its flaws? I used to always think I had to be perfect before I could love myself. And then I realized, no, I get to love myself even with my imperfections. My imperfections are every bit as much a part of me as are what I would call my perfections. Dare I say it, the only difference between the two is what I label as such. So if I was to say to you, as I am about to do, what word first comes to mind when you say, my body is? Now, you don't have to say it out loud, but there's a word that comes to mind. Excuse me, my voice is not yet awake. I am, but my voice is not woken up. The word might be, my body is beautiful. My body is strong. My body is old. My body is wrinkled. My body is tired. Thank you, Katrina. My body is healthy. What I say to myself determines what I do to myself, and I can say multiple things at once. Now, the question is, where does this word that I say to myself, where do these words which create me come from? So I have a model of the universe that I would like to share with you, and it's based on, originally, as humankind evolved and we took a look at the stars and we looked around and we tried to figure out how everything worked, we used to believe that the Earth was the center of the solar system. That was the original theory, long, long ago. And then somewhere, I think it was like in 1540, Copernicus took a look at the skies and he said, no, that's wrong. We went from the geocentric theory of the solar system, and Copernicus turned it around and made it we went from the geocentric to the heliocentric, meaning the sun is the center of the solar system. So we used to think that the Earth was the center of the solar system. And as we evolved, we realized the sun was the center of the solar system. And then somewhere around the late 40s and the early 50s, as the baby boomers evolved, we developed the egocentric theory of the solar system, which is that I am the center of the solar system. It's all about me. And therefore, we interpret everything through us. Now, that's normal and it's natural, but it's also a little bit dangerous. So let's define our universe here. There's me. There is me, the center of my universe, excuse me. And I take a look around the universe, and I take my little universe, my little room here, my big universe, whatever it might be, and I see something, and we'll call this an event. I take a look at the world, and there's a lot to see in the world right now, and I interpret what I see through the thoughts in my head. So I take a look at the climate. I look in the mirror. I take a look at the news. I take a look at my own internal thoughts. There is some sort of, we'll call it an event. And what the event does is it triggers a thought. I see things, you see things, and then you interpret them. That's just survival. Most things we see, we just go, okay, there we go. There's a picture on my wall. My office has got a bunch of stuff laying around. It's a little messier than I would like. But I see things, I think about those things. And what happens from those thoughts is, as we know through science of mind, but as I've experienced for a long time, as have you, even before you discovered the philosophy, thoughts create feelings. Louise Hay, who we are all probably aware of, as a matter of fact, that tape came from Louise Hay, Hay House, I believe. Louise Hay said, a feeling is a thought that sticks. If you stop and think about it, most thoughts, consider a river with lots of leaves in it, and you just stand by the edge of the river and you're watching all the leaves go by, and each of those leaves is a thought. And just, oh, there goes a thought. oh, there goes a thought. Oh, there goes a thought. And most of the time, they're just passing through your head. But once in a while, you reach into that river of thoughts and you pull one out and you go, oh, look at this. I have to go to the grocery store. Usually an emotionally neutral thought. But then I start to think, as I dwell on the thought, boy, groceries have gotten really expensive. And I have a lot to do right now. I really don't have time to go to the grocery store. Plus, I got to put on a mask because we have an uptick going on around here. I hate wearing a mask. I do it because it's what is required of me and because I want to be healthy and protect my body and protect others. But, geez, I got in my car, I got to drive over there, then I got to spend all of this money. I don't want to go to the grocery store. And I start to get angry or upset because I've grabbed that thought. Now, I could grab that same thought and I could change the feelings that come with it by thinking in a different way. Oh, I've got to go to the grocery store. Wow, am I fortunate that I can afford to go to the grocery store. I live in a world where my background is weight loss. My problem that I deal with most is an affliction of abundance. I have so much food that I have to cut back, whereby half the world is starving. The way I interpret my thought affects my feelings. I can interpret it one way and have one set of feelings. I can interpret it another way and have a different set of feelings. And what I say to myself will determine what I do to myself. Now, where does that interpretation come from? That comes from our values and our morals. What we consider to be important and what we consider to be right and wrong about what is important. For example, my values are that compassion and kindness first. So if I start to get in one of those loops and I can pull my values up for me and start to say, wait a second, am I being compassionate? Am I being kind here? Then my feelings will adjust versus am I just being cranky? And I get to be cranky. Everybody gets to be cranky once in a while. But to just be aware of what it is that is driving those feelings, because I see something, I think something, I feel something, all of this then comes together and I do something. And the way I do something now becomes the new event. So I look in the mirror, I see, I believe we never get old, we just become wrinkled kids. I mean, if you stop and think about it, I'm coming up on 70 in 2 years. I feel the same way inside that I probably felt 40 years ago. I imagine you do too. Well, I mean, unless you're 40, you probably feel very different than you did 40 years ago. But for the most part, our inner dialogue doesn't change. Our external appearance changes. And the way we talk about that external appearance, therefore, changes. So I look in the mirror and I see this gray-haired guy. I go, who is that guy? If my thought about him, me, is he's doing all right, he's aging decently well, I will feel good about me. I will take better care about me. I will then see me taking better care about me. I will go, damn, what a good guy. And the cycle will continue. If, on the other hand, I stare into the mirror, as I'm inclined to do, and go, what is that thing on my nose? You know, why do I have one ear that's larger than the others? You know, that I pointed it out, I know everybody's staring at my big ear. But I find those flaws, then I feel bad about myself. If I feel bad about myself, my reaction is, why would I take care of myself any better? What I say to myself determines what I do to myself. So really important. And I've got another question about that. Is I heard about where we actually exist within this body. I heard a speaker on a podcast about a year or so ago, and his name is Stephen Harris, and he's a philosopher, I guess would be the best. He's a meditation coach. But one of the comments he said is, where does your consciousness exist? Where do you live in your body? Most of us consider ourselves a head with a body that moves us around. And therefore, we tend to interpret our consciousness as coming from somewhere up here. But what if consciousness, what if our very existence is within each cell? Matter of fact, what if consciousness is within the atom, but we do not yet have the power to be able to see the consciousness of the atom? Where do you exist? We exist, yes, in this physical body, but it expands and goes immensely to everywhere. And conversely, it shrinks into the small. If I can see myself as intertwined within all and the beauty that is everything, then I will look at myself much differently. The power that I possess, you are the most evolved being that has ever existed in all of history. All of the universe for billions of years has conspired for this moment to make you. Are there some flaws? Sure, probably. But it's beautiful as it is. So when I'm not sure what to do, I found these 3 questions. First, and I'll give the credit to it in a second, this is from a book I read. The first question to ask myself when I'm not as appreciative of myself as I need to be is, am I truly happy right now? Now, truly happy doesn't necessarily mean Pollyanna, where I'm skipping down the street. But on a 1 to 10 scale, most of the time, where 10 is absolute perfection, rarely are we there. As a matter of fact, I go so far, being the recovery perfectionist, that we don't. And 1 is 1 foot out the window with the other foot on a banana peel. Where do you rate yourself? And I think to myself, mostly 7 or an 8. Some days, 5, 4. Other days, usually on vacation, 9, 10. So if whatever, and stop and ask yourself, what is your average rating? What would it take to bump it up 1 notch? Not to go from a 6 to a 10, but from a 6 to a 6.5. And the first question is, am I truly happy right now? And if the answer to that is no, next question, what is preventing that happiness? Is it really something that's out there, or is it something that's in here? Is it the words I'm using, the thoughts I'm pulling out of that river? Is it my interpretation? What is preventing that happiness? And finally, if I cannot change whatever that is, we'll take the world situation. Then how do I surrender to the situation as it is? How do I, dare I say it, go back to acceptance? Acceptance is not giving up. It is giving in. Surrender is not a negative thing. It is to say that I accept for what it is, yet still I want to change. What small facts and features about myself can I look at in a better light? It is not, there was a motivational speaker years ago who passed away. His name was Zig Ziglar, for those of you who might know him. And he had a great line: conceit is the only disease that affects everybody but the person who has it. This is not to say you are conceited, to say you are proud. It is great, it is expected, it is welcome to be proud of who you are. So, coming down to the end here, I have a few suggestions and tips for how to grow into being happier, more accepting of who you are, and taking better care of your body. First of all, change the view. Don't stare at the part of you that you don't like. Find the part you do. Thank you for the applause, Vicki. Stare at, appreciate what you can do. The list that Tammy did earlier about all the different parts of who we are. Can I find some other point of me, some other point of my life that I can look at? Can I change the view? Can I check my thoughts? My thoughts are developed by me. I have, the whole basis of our philosophy is we get to control what we say. We get to control what we feel. It is coming to us from the universal mind, but it is ours. It is our individual manifestation of it. What thoughts do I want? So I change the view, That will probably cause my thoughts to change. When my thoughts change, my feelings will change. If my feelings are not changing, then maybe it's time to question my values. Those values, those ideas, those concepts that were put into me as a small child might no longer serve me. It is okay to say goodbye to that which no longer serves. Do it with grace, bless it, and send it on its way. Thank you for being so critical of me as a child. I know you were trying to inspire me to be better, but it's not working for me anymore. Every behavior is generated by positive intention. Those that our parents and our grandparents put into us, their intent was to protect us. The side effect might be that it doesn't any longer. So I bless it. I thank my parents' memories. I thank the influences of all of those who have affected me. I analyze them. I say, are these my values anymore? No. Many of us came to this philosophy from a different faith background. We said, that faith doesn't work anymore. Not for me. I need something else, and I moved on. So in conclusion, when you don't know what to do, per the entire topic here, first of all, have faith. If you can't have faith, have hope. If you don't have hope, have patience. And if you don't have patience, have good friends. Our life is made of what we say to ourselves. What we say to ourselves determines what we do to ourselves. Find the beauty in who you are. Appreciate that which you can do. Do the same with others. Watch how things turn out differently. Thank you. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to do treatment. I'm new to this whole thing with the treatments. So, I mean, I've been doing treatments, but I forgot that in the old days pre-practitioner training, and I would do a presentation and they would say, do you want to do a treatment too? Oh, no, I won't do that. So now I forgot that this is now part of what I do. So let's get settled for a brief moment. Go within, feel how you feel, get comfortable, appreciate the connection to all. And I know, and I am grateful for my connection to everything that exists, to everything that has ever been, and to my contribution to everything that will come here on. I know that we are all of one great energy, one great force, one great source, and that source is intertwined and through all of us and around us. There is no division, there is no separation. It is all one universal energy. And knowing that, I know I have the ability to be whatever it is I choose to do, to be the greatest person I know how to be the healthiest I know how to be, to appreciate all that comes to me in the brilliance that it is coming to me for my own beautiful use. And as I accept all that comes to me, including the beauty that is my body, I breathe deeply in gratitude, and I know that I am healthy, and I know that all is unfolding exactly as it is supposed to be. And I know that this day and all future days will be exactly what they are, and I accept them and appreciate them and turn them loose into the universal law of mind, knowing that I am creating the perfect life. And for that perfect life and that perfect body, I am so grateful, and release it with the words. And so it is. Am I supposed to do more? Okay.
Hey guys.
Okay, I think we're all back together again. Thank you very much, Scott, for your talk and your prayer. Thank you. Anyway, if everyone will join with me in sharing our June prosperity affirmation, I will say it and then we'll repeat it together. And remember, we're very thankful for you, that you share your prosperity with us, And all the ways you can do it will be on the chat screen. June affirmation. My daily life is filled with the peace, power, prosperity, and perfection of spirit. Yes. If you will share with me, please. My daily life is filled with the peace, power, prosperity, and perfection of spirit. Yes.
Thank you, Tammy. One God, one life, one supply. Thank you for being the light from within that halos our talents, time, and treasures, and causes us to understand that the flow of all three from us is the same flow that circles back to us multiplied. We are grateful to be blessed in such ways, both as a center and individually. Blessing the gift and the giver, I offer these words to the law that only says yes, and I release them there to become evident, and so it is. Tammy?
All right. Our announcements. LCSL Men's Group this Thursday, June the 16th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time with this Zoom link. Be there.
Yes.
Next week's speaker is Vicki Jeter, and her title will be Our Bodies Remember. And we have another chance at a wonderful class by Reverend Jesse Jennings via Zoom, $295. It's a 10 weeks course. It starts Thursday, July 7th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Fridays, July 8th, noon. I think it's going to be great. I think that so much I'm going to take it. I
Me
hope
too.
to see some of you there. And the two most important things, your body is beautiful, and I think you are all magnificent. Have a grand week this week.
Yes, you are magnificent. Our closing song today is Thank You, God, for Everything by Denise Rosier.
I remember walking barefoot with nothing to do. I had everything I needed and no job to go to. I loved birthday candles and Christmas lights. Being so in love, I had no appetite. And the last day of school promising friends were too good to be forgotten. All that meant so much to me. Thank you, God, for everything. I won't forget the year I bought my first place, or the day I gave a brand new life her very own name. I've known the kindness of a stranger and the friends who would love me to the end, and dancing in the rain joyfully when I thought no one else was watching. All that meant so much to me. Thank you, God, for everything. Some things didn't turn out how I planned them, and some of my dreams are real still have these simple truths that I've held on to. Slowing down and taking risks, letting go and no regrets, finding miracles before my eyes, and little blessings in disguise. They taught me more than anything. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for everything.
An acorn does not have to say, I intend to become an oak tree. Natural intelligence intends that every living thing become the highest form of itself and designs up accordingly. Ending this service as we began, for the collective, I say thank you. Thank you, Spirit, for teaching us what to say to ourselves, to show ourselves the greatest of love and compassion by choosing your words for us. And thank you for guiding our words and actions throughout the coming week. We are so blessed to have this day, our yesterday, and all our tomorrows. Blessed in our interconnectedness. We are simply blessed, and we know it. And we appreciate all we have and all we are capable of being when we accept who we are and whose we are. As always, we're especially thankful for this philosophy that taught us God is within, and we are never separated, not now, not ever. And on these and multiple other gratitudes, I lift our words of joy and appreciation into a law that always says yes, automatically and impartially. And there I release them. And so it is.